Hey, welcome to episode 101 of Credit 101. Isn't that amazing? Like episode 101 is called Credit 101. I'm just so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself for even doing the 100th episode, but now it's the 101st episode. I am learning my Espanol and it's muy difícil. It's very difficult for me. So please forgive me if I talk crazy, but in this episode and the next episode too, I'm talking about taking money out of tax accounts. Not even just it's tax deferred accounts. You know, maybe you guys have like a 401k, ROA. I'm talking about these different accounts. So I made sure that I took some notes on here because this is a very touchy subject. And then the next episode, we're going to talk about, taking money from your house, maybe taking a loan now, or maybe doing a HELOC. So we're going to talk about those different things. And I just made sure that I had a lot of notes on it just to make sure I don't say the wrong things and I don't forget anything too, because these two subjects is very deep to me. Now, when it come down to this episode, we're talking about withdrawing or just borrowing money from those accounts. Now, I always thought about, if you guys were to do like IRA, usually you guys can take out what you put into the IRA without having penalties, but any growth from it, you can't really take it out without being penalized. So I kind of like that, but some people think about their 401k and they think about how can they pay off their debt with these different accounts. Please talk to a professional. I am not that, okay? I'm just being honest. I am not that. I have never taken out money from these accounts. I have taken out money from a house, which I can't talk to you guys about that, about my personal experience. But my thoughts is, if it's in there, leave it in there. That's honestly what it is, because whatever you take in from your accounts now, you're actually taking it from your future. That's just literally what I'm thinking about. Like, you taking this stuff from your future, because that's what this money's supposed to be for. So understand that if you guys have your IRAs or 401ks or any other tax accounts that's supposed to be deferred in terms of your interest, usually when you withdraw from these accounts, you are going to be penalized. And sometimes if you do it before 59 and a half, which is usually a time that you won't be penalized to take them out, they're going to charge you a 10% early withdrawal penalty. So please keep that in mind. Sometimes you can take a loan out, especially like if you have like your employer, if you have 401k there, because you'll get your employer putting money into there too. Sometimes they're matching it. So if you guys were to have an account like that, usually you can take a loan out. You can basically borrow from it. You can take a loan out. But please, when you guys borrow from these different accounts, please see how much they're going to charge you in terms of interest and find out what those terms are. Because we talked about personal loans and things like that. And I believe we're going to go back into it. I got a whole bunch of videos I'm going to record right now. But we are going to talk a little bit more about certain type of loans that you should avoid. And personal loan is one, but it really is based off of the interest rate. So please make sure that you guys know what the interest rate is going to be, what the penalties are. And you can talk to a tax professional or financial advisor, either or, whichever one you have, to figure out what it's going to be, in terms of taking this money out. But I would suggest, if you guys are going to take the money out, literally just talk to them and say, hey, what is it going to be? How much am I going to be penalized for? What can I do to not be penalized? How can I take it? Is there a different way? Because sometimes people take out money from their 401k or the IRA to like buy a house and things like that. So you definitely want to just figure out what that will be like, and just understand that this is technically taken from your future, and you need to know what's the repercussions if you don't pay it back in the time frame you're supposed to pay it back. And I would suggest, if anything, I would ask you guys to borrow from it. Rather you borrow from it than to outright just take it out, especially if we're talking about accounts that's supposed to be tax-free, where they're not going to charge you at all. So please understand this information. And again, 59 and a half is really that age. That's like that sweet spot. So that's where you guys are not going to be penalized. But if you guys are past that if you guys are not nowhere near 59 and a half, understand you are going to be penalized for taking it out. But just ask them, what will my penalties be? Okay. And like I said, borrow. If you can, just borrow. But that's kind of everything I want to say on this topic, because I really want you guys to definitely talk to someone about what it would be, what you should do, because I don't want to give out false information on this subject. Okay. But the next subject, which we're going to talk about, home equity loans, home equity line of credit. which is the HELOC. We're going to definitely talk about that. I can personally tell you my experience and different things you want to do and things you want to avoid. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Hey, welcome to episode 102 of Credit 101. In this episode, we're going to talk about home equity line of credit and also home equity loans. Now, usually some people like to take out, loans on their house to pay off certain debts, or sometimes they like to do a line of credit. And when it comes down to these different things, you definitely want to talk to a tax professional about this. You also want to talk to a financial advisor. You just want to know, your options. This is supposed to be one of the biggest investments that you're going to be able to have. A lot of people want to pass it down to their kids. But if you don't pay this loan out, understand, or if you don't do what you need to do with your home equity line of credit, you have a chance of them foreclosing on this property and you losing it. So I definitely want you guys to talk to a tax professional or talk to a banker. But then again, you really don't talk to a banker because bankers are going to tell you just to, it'll be fine, just pay it back. You want to talk to a financial advisor about this subject for sure. But I want to tell you guys that this is an option though. You guys can definitely, like if you have equity in your home, usually they'll give you 80% of what your home is worth. In terms of a home equity loan or line of credit, they'll offer that money to you. And with this money, if you get a loan, they'll give you one lump sum of like whatever it is. So like in my instance, I took a loan out on one of my properties and I was able to get a $20,000 loan. If I knew better, I would have did a line of credit. I think that would have been better if I would have just did a line of credit because I would have paid less in interest over time. But definitely you guys you'll get that money right up front. If you guys just do a loan, they'll just put that money. It's like they'll just put in your account. Maybe if you don't have a bank account with them, usually they'll make you get a bank account with them. But they'll go ahead and give you the money in form of a check or whatever the case may be. And you can do whatever you want to do with it. And they're going to give you a set amount that you have to pay every month for a set term too. Just think of it as a personal loan, but you putting your house up as collateral. Like, hey, if I don't pay this, take my house. Is basically what you're doing. Now with the home equity line of credit, again, they're going to give you that money. Say you guys have that lump sum, like I got the $20,000. What they would have did, they would have put that $20,000 available for me in an account, and I could have withdrew from it, and I could have paid the money back into it. And it's like a line of credit, it's just a credit card. Think of it like a credit card, basically. It's a line of credit. It's revolving kind of. So think about it like that. I have 20,000. If I take 10 of it out, if I pay it back, I've got 20,000 again. That's what that is like. With the loan, once you have that paid off, you have it paid off, that money's not available to you. So usually I would tell people if you could. Some people, I watched a lot of videos about this, especially if you guys were to look into, I forgot the name of it, so I'm not actually getting into the subject. But home equity line of credit is really where you want to go because of the interest. You're paying way less interest on that. But please keep in mind too, you guys, if you don't pay this back, you have a very high chance. If you don't pay it back, seriously, they want to just take your home. Okay. So don't mess around. Don't just get this money and not do what you need to do with it because they will take your home. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Now, if you guys have any questions or maybe you like, okay, Rickita, what happened with this? What's going to do that? You can definitely call me. Usually they want to get an appraisal on your home. And once they get that appraisal, they didn't have to actually come in and do a full appraisal. They was able to look up the comps in the neighborhood and just give me the $20,000 based off of that. You guys can give more depending on what your house is worth, again, to 80% a lot of times. So if you guys have questions, definitely call me. I'll be happy to answer those questions or schedule a call on my website, Rickita.com. Right at the top, you'll see schedule a call. Schedule a call. I'll be happy to answer those questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.